All right. I am really glad that you guys were able to make it today. Just really overwhelmed by the amount of support here. I cannot believe all of the places where you guys are from right now. It's absolutely crazy. I saw North Korea, China, Netherlands, Sri Lanka. Just, I don't even understand how big the world is sometimes and how the internet can make things so small. Okay, let's get started. Before we begin, I just want to thank everybody that took the time out of their day to join me. I hope that you learn a lot from today's masterclass. I wish I had a time machine to see how everybody on this call ends up in 5 years. I know for a fact that you're in the company of future staff engineers, principals, distinguished engineers. They're future business owners, VPs of engineering on this call, CTOs and CEOs. So don't forget about Uncle Steve once you make it big. I love you and I'm here for you. Okay, let's get started. I think you guys can see the presentation. So, okay. Today, I'm going to share with you my simple blueprint for getting engineers promoted in the next cycle. The system I'm revealing today is a hack for anybody to quickly move up the promotion chain. After 18 years of climbing the corporate ladder at Amazon, I'm leaving, so I can freely share this powerful knowledge to help anyone get promoted fast without any extra hassle. I want to help you get promoted without putting in long weekends, grinding extra hours, or any crazy over-the-top effort. The blueprint will put somebody in a good position to get promoted in the very next cycle. So, here's my promise. You've never heard many of these concepts before. The system goes completely against the grain of what you believe you need to get promoted. You may think that you need to work harder, improve your tech depth, and grind away nights and weekends to get promoted, but that's not true. With the method to reverse engineer your promotion, your boss will become an advocate and carry you across the finish line. So, if you're someone who feels stuck and tired of watching other people get promoted ahead of you, or simply want to fast track your promotion without wasting any time or effort, then the blueprint I'm revealing in this presentation will change your career trajectory and your life forever, starting today. So, in the chat, let me know why you want to get promoted. Type in 1 if you want more money, 2 if you want more status, 3 if you want some credibility, more credibility, 4 if you want more opportunities, 5 if you don't care about getting promoted, and 6 if it is cold outside. I know for a fact that it is freezing in America right now. So you can type in multiples in the chat, and let's take a look here. Let's see, my audio level is low. Let me turn that up a little bit. Hopefully that's good. I'll pause here. Opportunities, money. It is okay to want to get promoted for money, guys. 7, more volume. All right, let me just turn this up a little bit more. Okay, let me know if the volume level is better. 1, it's expensive outside. That's hilarious. Okay. So you can see there are a lot of benefits to getting promoted. Not a ton of people don't want to get promoted on this call. That's good. This is a call about getting promoted. All right. When it comes to getting promoted, everything you think you know is probably a bit off. I've seen some technical geniuses held back for years because they don't understand what matters when it comes to getting promoted. I've also seen weak technical engineers soar to senior staff and even principal roles because they employed these techniques correctly. Whether most folks know it or not, every promotion in tech, maybe the entire world, comes down to this. So for 18 years, I've helped hundreds of engineers at Amazon get promoted or not promoted based solely on the knowledge and techniques that I'm sharing today. I used to put my heart and soul into work, staying late, doing weekends, and there were some people that did even more work than me who put in many more hours. And then I realized that's not what gets you promoted. So I stopped. And I made it to the top 1% of engineers as a principal at Amazon. I'm pretty good, but I'm not the most qualified based on my degree. I'm self-taught, Yet I supported a team of over 400 engineers within Prime Video, many with amazing educations. They've got master's degrees, PhDs, and some people have more experience than myself. So if you're watching this live stream, you're probably already a high performer and operating at the next level already. Today, I'm going to hand you my tech promotion algorithm and show you how to use it. My plan for this presentation is that by the time I'm done with you, you'll undergo a mindset shift that will give you a head start on your promotion journey. If you feel like you're already operating at the next level, but you've been stuck in your position, if you feel like you don't have the technical skills or time, if you're tired of watching people around you get promoted while you get overlooked time and time again, don't worry, I'll give you everything I know. Today we will cover why the traditional path to promotion is broken at a fundamental level, the bad information holding you back from promotion right now, my technical promotion algorithm needed to get promoted in the next cycle, 3 hacks to transform cringe conversations about your promotion. Sound good? Let's get into it. If you're struggling to get promoted, it's not your fault. To compound things, there's a lot of bad information out there, and it kills me. Novice gurus might only be half a step ahead of you. These people were recently promoted. They can speak from a couple of months of limited personal experience. Unless you've been on the other side of the table doing assessments and being on promotion panels, you only have a partial picture. It's like the teacher learning the subject matter just before the class starts. If things are different at the company you work at, their advice unravels and it wastes your time. A lot of the advice falls into the work harder trap category. It's the classic outdated advice of grind, grind, grind. You likely already work hard enough. Companies are incentivized to extract as much productivity out of you as possible. And this narrative is pushed on people by big, powerful figures in the space. People like Elon Musk, who tells Twitter staff to work long hours or leave. Mark Zuckerberg, who says Meta employees must work harder than ever. And Satya Nadella saying that the tech industry will have to do more with less. Network, a career development company, found high performers fail to get promoted because they've been taught to work hard and focus on mastering the job itself. And that's the big issue. You think that your hard work will speak for itself. This is a big misconception because there's simply too much work to see. The reality of the situation is that nobody, including your boss, can possibly see all the work that's getting done. There's a fundamental asymmetry between how much bandwidth your boss has to see your work and all of the work that your team does. It's all too easy for your work to get lost in all of that. And it's really unfair. So here's a perfect example of this. I found it on Reddit. It's a sales example, but it proves my point. 2 of our company's lowest performers just got promoted. Literally bottom of the barrel, no awards, no contest wins, no extracurriculars, and both have dry personalities. Our stats get published publicly. That's how I know. Their education is completely irrelevant to the job, and they barely worked at the company for less than a year. Now they make more than me and another top performer I'm friends with. Both of us have more than 5 years of experience and are far more qualified. We'd only surpass them if we worked our ass off for commission. Meanwhile, they sit on their butts all day and get an amazing base salary. I've come to realize that promotions have literally nothing to do with how well you can perform. Absolutely nothing. If you get a promotion, I'm assuming nothing about your ability. Absolutely nothing. You could be working too hard to get promoted. The advice coming from 99% of people is that you should write better code. You should become a subject matter expert on everything. You should deliver bigger projects. Yes, you should do those things, but it's all too easy to over-index on all of that and neglect the other important things. The reality is that management can't promote people that they're not aware of. We'd like to think that promotions are based on a systematic process of performance and execution. That's the way that the world should work. But the actual decisions happen in a closed room with management making recommendations for who should be selected for the highest roles. We can't live our lives based on how the world should be. We have to live it based on how it is. Don Graham, career director of the Wharton MBA program for executives, found that we like to believe that these decisions are made through a systematic vetting process. But the truth is, the executives in the room are sharing what they know about their team members and making recommendations for who should be selected. On top of all of this, your manager is probably trying to get promoted as well. They're not by default focused on you, no matter how much you overperform. So in 2016, I had already been a senior developer for 4 years, and I was ready for a promotion. I was technically good. I checked in a ton of code. I did a bunch of code reviews. I mentored a bunch of people on the team. I'd successfully overseen large projects. I was working across teams with other senior and principal engineers. And for the next 4 years, I got passed over for promotion after promotion. I discovered the promotion wasn't about what was delivered, but how it was delivered. There's a big disconnect between job performance and job outcomes. This picture is what most engineers do. They try to pour tea into all of the cups by pouring it into a single cup. That's just the wrong way to do it. Really, though, it's magical thinking. If you're already a high performer, it's time to focus on other things. I don't want you to get passed up for promotion for 8 years like I did before you figure out what those right other things are. This is why I'm sharing the blueprint on how to reverse engineer your promotion into existence. How to make a massive impact and amaze your coworkers and managers without any extra work, and how to generate powerful influence across your entire organization. You can do this. No matter what your current situation is, whether you've been stuck trying for years, the tech promotion algorithm is the answer. So I'm going to tell you what it is and how to use it. Let's get into it. My promotion algorithm encompasses everything that I've learned about who gets promoted and who gets passed up. So just like any good algorithm, there's a set of preconditions. So let's run through those. Okay, so number one, you have to be employed. If you don't have a job, you can't get promoted. It's as simple as that. There are a couple of people that want to get promoted by job hopping. The algorithm doesn't cover sort of job hopping promotions. That's a sort of separate topic. You can't be on a PIP. So if you are a low performer, if you're about to get managed out and you're about to get laid off, don't spend your energy on trying to get promoted. You should spend your energy on trying to shift your work to the level of expectation so that you don't get fired. All right, so if you're on a PIP or a performance improvement plan, get out of a PIP. You have to have a supportive manager. Right now, your manager and you don't have to be bros, you know, but your manager, you should have a good relationship with your manager, right? You have to have a supportive manager. I'm a big fan of golf. 100% of putts that don't go to the hole won't go in. And 100% of promotions with an unsupportive manager don't go through. Okay, so you have to have some sort of supportive manager. And then finally, there has to be room for you to be promoted, right? So a lot of companies have had hiring freezes. Some companies have promotion freezes. I think this is terribly short-sighted, but that's the reality of the situation. So if you can't get promoted, maybe there's a quota. There's only so many senior engineers. That's the carrying capacity for your company. And you want to be a senior engineer, but they're full, you can't get promoted, right? And so you're going to have to find a place where you can get promoted. That might involve moving teams. That might involve moving companies. Okay, so those are the preconditions. So here's the algorithm. While you aren't promoted, you do these 3 steps in a cycle until you are. Okay, so first step, do a 360-degree assessment on where you stand. What you're going to do is you're going to gather data from people all around you at different levels and fill out what I'm calling this tech promotion matrix. Step 2, is that you take the inputs that you've just gathered and you create an actionable plan, right? So once you get that heat map of things that you need to work on, that's going to go into a plan where you're going to do one big thing for this next cycle. Step 3 is to execute on the plan in a visible manner. Okay, and then after you're done executing, if you get promoted, congratulations, you're a senior engineer or principal engineer. If you don't get promoted, you rinse and repeat. You do another 360-degree assessment, you come up with another plan, and then you execute. It's really that simple. The problem is that most people mix all of the steps together into a big jumbled mess. And the process turns into a random walk. And everybody thinks that it's all about politics or it's all about luck. This algorithm is how you apply structure to your promotion. If you go through these 3 discrete steps, your promotion is guaranteed to converge. In this masterclass, we're going to do a deep dive on the first step, which is the most important step. I'd love to get into all of the other steps as well. We just simply don't have time. If you follow the instructions if you follow these instructions for the first step, you will be better off than 99% of the folks that are doing a random walk. Okay, so the first step is to go and get the next level criteria for your job. If your company publishes something, you can use that. If your company's smaller, you can get job descriptions for the next level or do some sleuthing based off of prior promotions. After that, you determine where you stand by asking other people for feedback in terms of that next level criteria. You take that feedback and you add it to a simple matrix in a spreadsheet. And by analyzing that spreadsheet, it'll tell you exactly the areas that you need to work on. So let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys actually know what your company's promotion policies are? Type 1 in the chat if they are published and well known. Type 2 in the chat if your company doesn't publish formal criteria. A lot of people are simply not aware of what actually matters when getting promoted. In some cases, companies are telling you exactly how to get to the next level. If your company does publish this, you'd be a fool not to read it cover to cover and internalize it. If they don't, you can use my promotion matrix that I'll share in a second and use that as a starting point. So let's see in the chat. Oh, we have a 3 there. Not a lot of people follow directions. Okay, we've got a lot of 1s. So take a look at the chat. Most companies have a promotion criteria that's been published. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're going to transform that into our matrix. A couple of people don't, right? So probably they work at smaller companies or companies that aren't necessarily tech focused. That's okay. So this is a sample promotion matrix, and I filled it out with hypothetical feedback. Now, you don't need anything special. A spreadsheet is just fine. The rows are the dimensions of next level criteria, and the columns are the people that you're going to ask for feedback. Your job is to fill in the cells red, green, or yellow, or gray if you don't have any data points. Sometimes this is called a RAG matrix, red, amber, green. Here, I have the dimensions of code quality, mentorship of others, speed of delivery, effective technical documentation, project leadership, technical depth, operational support, and system design. If you don't have formal criteria, you can use these as a starting point and change things around or add some rows. The columns are the people that you need to get feedback from. Your manager, your skip level, and I advocate as well for a self-assessment. And obviously all of the people that you work with. Best would be people that are going to be in the room when that promotion conversation is going to happen. Now, if I was advising this hypothetical person on what to do next, I'd make sure they had really great data points around project leadership and mentorship of others, right? When you chart the data points visually like this, finding hotspots and creating a promotion plan is really simple. This person needs to mentor others and do it in a way that's visible and to make their project leadership solid for the next cycle. They probably don't need to spend cycles on technical depth or code quality, right? So I have a more polished version of this I use for my program, but I wanted to show you this for today's masterclass because it's something anybody today can anybody that's watching today can employ for free just using Google Sheets or Excel. The big problem is that people The big problem that prevents people from filling something like this out, though, is that you have to talk to people and you have to get the data points about yourself. And that can get really awkward. So I'm going to give you 3 hacks to make these conversations easier to have. If you have trouble talking about yourself, that's kind of me. If you have problems talking about yourself, I'd like you to employ these hacks to fill out the matrix, okay? So the first tactic is the presumptive close. The presumptive close is a tactic that car salesmen use. So you walk into the dealership and you're talking about a car and they're like, what color do you want your new car to be? Do you want it to be red or do you want it to be black? And so the salesman is presuming that you're going to buy the car. Okay, so you can use this tactic to ask for feedback about yourself. In this case, when you're asking for somebody's feedback for where you are for promotion, you presumptively close. You say this: Steve, as you know, I'm up for promotion to senior engineer this cycle. I'd really like to get feedback from you about what areas I'm already operating at that level and areas where I'm not. It's because I really value your opinion. And then what you do is you start listening, right? And you can use the matrix to sort of guide the conversation for the types of feedback that you're going to get from them. Now, use this technique for people that are already at the level you're targeting, or even better, if you know that they will be in the room when your promotion packet is discussed. So that's the presumptive close. The second hack is that if you've been working with people on a big project or an initiative, the conversation can be really fluid because you can use the context of that project to ask for feedback, right? So in this case, all you need to say is, hey, Steve, since we've been working on this project and I really value your judgment, I'd like to get feedback on areas where I can improve and areas where you think I could do better. Now, this is really useful for asking for feedback from people at any level. What you'll find is that people are happy to give feedback in the context of a project. And you don't even have to talk about your own promotion if you don't want to. Again, make sure that you are, attempting to fill in the colors on your matrix when you have these types of conversations. And finally, let's talk about your boss. Your boss can't promote you if they don't know that you want to get promoted, right? It's like the putt in golf. You need to talk to your manager, but it can be really cringe to bring it up. But these conversations are the price of admission. You need to talk about it. You don't get anything that you don't ask for. So the easiest way to do this is to ask your boss about their own career ambitions. It makes it really fluid to start talking about your own. So just say this: hey boss, where do you see yourself career-wise in 5 years? And then listen and respond to what they have to say. And then when they're done, you can share your own ambitions. Hey boss, that's great. I myself see myself as a manager in 5 years, but first I'd like to get to senior engineer. Say, next time we have a one-on-one, can we talk about where I stand for promotion? I think I'm close, but I'd love to get your feedback about where I can improve, and I don't want to blindside you. So I've got this matrix right here that I've created and I filled out with next level criteria. We can just run through that. Boom. What you've done is a couple of important things. You've planted a seed for promotion. You've made it easy for them to provide feedback because you've got this matrix that you just need to fill out. You've also let your manager know what your goals are. And you've demonstrated that it's not all just about you. You asked about their future, right? And then you talked about yourself. So even if you just do the steps outlined in this masterclass, you will be ahead of so many people. And if you just take the conversations hacks to fill out your promotion matrix, I believe your promotion is just a matter of time. But I want to dump gasoline on your fire and personally help you. Richard, from my first cohort, got promoted in just 3 weeks because I taught him how to talk to his manager. His boss thought he was ready to be promoted in early 2023, but he sat on it because he had a million other things to do. When he simply brought up the fact that he wanted to get promoted, his boss moved so fast that Richard could not believe it. He would have been promoted eventually. I know that for a fact, but he got promoted to staff engineer in record time because I was there to guide him systematically. And I taught him how to ask for the thing that he wanted. You may think your circumstances are unique. They are, but I've seen almost all of the edge cases. And I think that you need to do it. The timing has never been more critical. Meta is restructuring to focus on efficiency. Alphabet is turning to AI to do the same. And Microsoft is adopting that more with less policy. Amazon just had a big round of layoffs. If you're wondering, I did not get laid off. I'm rated top tier. I'm leaving so that I can make free content. It's getting harder and harder for folks to find their jobs. This is why you need to grow in place if you still have a job. It was only a couple years ago that engineers were able to leverage multiple job offers and boost their compensation. Now, a lot of folks are worried. Am I going to end up as a barista with a graduate degree? This graphic is from an experiment conducted by Business.com, tracking the fate of hundreds of job applications across not just tech, but multiple industries. Hundreds and hundreds of applications, not a single interview. One computer science graduate from Berkeley reported that FAANG and most other big tech companies aren't even showing up to job fairs and career events anymore. The reality of the situation is that it may be like this for a while. Tech companies laid off more than 400,000 people over the past 2 years. There are thousands more layoffs already slated for this year. 13 tech companies announced 2,300 job cuts in the first 9 days of 2024. That number doesn't even count the Google and Amazon layoffs. Many companies have frozen hiring entirely. If you're a junior, you need to not be a junior really fast, especially because my personal opinion is that I think AI will be the nail in the coffin for many folks in lower level positions. All the companies that you care about and want to work for can now deliver way more with way less. Lower level roles will become scarce as AI becomes more and more advanced. Getting to senior or above is the best insurance that you can get. But because you're here today, you will have a powerful edge over everybody else that doesn't have a plan. I want nothing more than to have you as my next success story for the cohort after this one. Remember Richard, who got promoted in record time? He gets invited to meetings where big decisions are made. He gets to steer the ship and influence the direction of not just his team, but his entire organization. And he got a salary increase of 20 to 30% that he says he's very happy with. And today, I want to help you assess, plan, and execute your tech promotion. I just put my notice in at Amazon so I could devote myself to creating free content and to help as many people as possible. I can only help so many people at work, but I can help so many more and I'm opening my doors to you so you can get a slice of my time. I'd love it if I could personally help you. So that's why today, I'm inviting you to join Speedrun to Promotion. Speedrun to Promotion is the only place you can receive my personal guidance on your next promotion. It's where I personally walk you through every step of the tech promotion algorithm and directly mentor you in mastering the skills needed to reach the upper echelons of this industry. When you join Speedrun to Promotion today, you will receive ongoing weekly instruction from me for 5 weeks, in which we'll cover live every element of the promotion process, from how to have that first conversation with your boss, to dealing with your teammates, even if they aren't supportive, plus much, much more. After you complete this training series, you'll have everything you need to identify, plan, and execute visibly, and then hand your promotion packet in with confidence. On these calls, we'll go over what you should be doing every week to execute the tech promotion algorithm. You'll receive handouts, worksheets, and much more to keep you on track. When you have a proven step-by-step algorithm to make it happen, it's a virtual certainty because I believe the algorithm converges. Imagine the access and authority you'll unlock from finally reaching that next tier. All right, and it's my mission to make sure that this happens for you. That's why, in addition to ongoing weekly instruction, today, you'll also receive every bonus I could think of to get you there, including a 1-year subscription to the Speedrun to Promotion community, where you enjoy the exclusive access of a dynamic network of ambitious professionals. Here, you can bounce off ideas with peers, gain insights from others' experiences, and forge valuable connections. Think of this as a community, as a team of advisors, always there to give you real talk and practical advice you need to climb the ladder with ease. You will also get vault access to past recordings of live instruction. You can go through all of the recordings of our last cohort and snag the secrets that got others promoted before you. The archive is your on-demand resource for every stage of your promotion journey in case you want to get ahead or simply revisit the critical advice, strategies, and insights to get you promoted a second, third, or fourth time. You get a 1-year subscription to the Accelerator Accountability Program. The Accelerator Accountability Program is your commitment partner. It's designed to make sure you stay focused and complete an iteration of the algorithm by, in this case, February. It's optional, but it's there for you if you want to get started right now. You also get 1 year of office hours with me. Each week, for 1 hour, you can join me live and bring your individual questions answered. These hours are your opportunity to tackle unique challenges, clarify doubts, and refine your promotion strategy with insights from my years of experience. Consider it like having a one-on-one mentorship session, guiding you through every twist and turn of your personal path to that promotion. Plus, I'm going to bring you access to live interviews with experts for a year. Thanks to my long and successful career, I have an extensive network of experts who have climbed the ranks to the highest levels. As a member of the Speedrun to Promotion community, I tap that network to bring you the latest insights and strategies to help you carve your own career path. Past guests have included giants like Ethan Evans, he was a former Amazon and Twitch VP, Rahul Pandey, he's a YouTuber and owner of Tarot.com, or JoinTarot.com. He will be there for the next cohort. We have Raj Saha, he's a YouTuber from Cloud with Raj, and Brian Liu. All of these interviews are available to you right now. This is my favorite bonus. These are 3 workshops on crisp verbal communication. So I've hired an outside company called Ultra Speaking to come in and help members of Speedrun to Promotion stand out and get recognized. So there are 3 one-hour workshops, and you'll learn, they're very intimate, and you'll learn how to avoid rambling during meetings, present your thoughts clearly, and make a powerful impact with your words. These sessions have been a game changer for past cohort and helping them stand out. It helped them stand out and be heard at the right ways. Everybody absolutely loved the sessions, and I also attend the sessions as well. There's a dedicated Slack workspace, so you can connect, ask questions, share successes, and work through headwinds with fellow subscribers, mentors, anytime, anywhere. So you get 24/7 access to a supportive community, ensuring that you're never alone in your journey to the top. So now you'll have a Slack workspace of people that are going to cheerlead for your promotion. Bonus number 8 is a Notion all-in-one organizational tool. So with the first cohort, we managed everything with worksheets on Google Docs. We've moved all of this into a Notion workspace created by a Notion professional to keep you even more organized. So it's the ultimate hub for keeping your promotion journey organized, on track, and streamlined. So all of this is yours today. A training program like this, one that shows you how to move up the ranks faster than you ever thought possible, is easily worth more than $20,000. After all, how much is just one promotion worth for you? I grabbed these numbers from levels.fyi. So they track Amazon, Meta, and Google salaries across the job bands. Junior developers make a little bit less than this is for the US. Junior developers make a little bit under 200K. Mid developers make a little under 250 to 300. Senior developers make 350 to 4, something like that. And staff plus engineers make $500,000 to $600,000 a year. And you can see that jump between senior developer and staff plus developer, by the way. That's $200,000 to $250,000 per year. If I had gotten promoted 2 years earlier, I would have made an extra $450,000. If I had been promoted 4 years earlier when I actually thought I was ready, and I was technically ready 4 years earlier, it would have been closer to $1 million, right? So getting promoted is just like the best thing that you can do for your retirement and your family. So you'll be able to use my program not just for your next promotion, but the promotion after that and the promotion after that. Just look at what Aviral said after joining. I found Steve's framework to be really useful in making guidelines for the promotion process to +1 and even +2 level from my current level. Thank you, Aviral. This is what Rohit said. Under Steve's guidance, I not only achieved the promotion I aspired to, but I also gained invaluable insights to my career path. Thank you, Rohit. I got Rohit promoted to principal engineer at Amazon. Or Susan. Susan says, I'm deeply grateful for the opportunities to have found this source of information, Paradigm, which I believe will be useful for many years in my career. Thank you, Susan. So, honestly, in terms of investment, $20,000 would be a steal. But don't worry, you won't pay anywhere near that today. You won't even pay half of that at $10,000, or even half of that at $5,000. For this offer only, when you join the Speedrun to Promotion community today, you get everything that you see here for a one-time payment of $43.99 or 3 easy payments of $14.99. Just go to speedruntopromotion.com to sign up right now. This is just $12 a day. You can unlock access to the entire Speedrun to Promotion program. Type in the chat how much you want to, so let's do this. Type in the chat how much you spent on your boot camp or undergraduate or graduate degree, and how much of that information that you learned for that much money is applicable for you right now. Let's take a look. Yeah. Somebody's college costs $200,000. Absolutely crazy. But you must hurry, and here's why. This isn't a massively produced course where you're just another face in the crowd. I'm personally involved with every step of the program. Speedrun to Promotion is a personalized, hands-on experience, and frankly, I don't scale to 2,000 or even 200 people. My time, like yours, is valuable and limited, and even though I've quit my job, I don't have an infinite capacity. So, if you want even more private coaching and one-on-one time with me, I've also opened up 45 spots for premium access for a limited time. You get everything from the standard package and a couple more other things. This is really perfect for people that are trying to get to staff, senior staff, and principal level engineers. So you'll get lifetime access to the Speedrun to Promotion community. You get all of the course updates and perpetual access to the Ultra Speaking workshops, interviews with industry insiders, my office hours, and whatever goodies I come up with in the future. This will help you not just for the next promotion, but all of the promotions after that. You will get weekly mastermind calls until you get promoted or for 2 years. These calls are like an intimate stand-up for your promotion. Not only will I be there personally interacting with you, but you'll have a group of other people that you'll get to know intimately, giving you feedback. People love these calls so much that I've allowed premium members to listen in on the other masterminds that are occurring. They find it so valuable. And you will also get a one-on-one call with me. My team thought I was absolutely crazy for offering this to you people. But for those that sign up to the premium program, I'm offering a one-on-one call with me. An hour of my time is worth $2,500. So on top of the weekly masterminds with the premium package, you and I are going to become friends. All of this for a one-time payment of $87.99 or 3 easy payments of $29.99. I have over 130,000 people subscribed to the channel right now. These spots are going to fill up fast. So act now if you want to get promoted in the next cycle, especially since you have nothing to lose. If for any reason you aren't completely satisfied with the Speedrun to Promotion program, simply let us know in the next 30 days and you'll receive a full refund, no questions asked. In fact, I'm so certain of my program that if for some strange reason you need to get a refund, you can keep all the worksheets I send you as a gift. There's absolutely no risk to you. Just remember that seats are limited, so if you join, you're taking a spot from somebody else. So here's everything that you get with the standard package. I won't read everything out loud. So the next cohort starts next week. So I will close the doors this Sunday. There's a lot of prep work that goes on behind the scenes and will start next week, so I can't accept people after this weekend. It's decision time, which means that you're at a crossroads. On your left is a road you walk alone, a road where you spend enormous amounts of time and effort trying to figure out a way to get to the next level, but never really know why it is or it isn't working. And on the right is a road that leads you to getting promoted months, even years faster than you otherwise would. A road that gives you everything you need to continue to shoot up the ranks in your organization. All you have to do is go to speedruntopromotion.com right now to take the road and join. When you do, you'll be taken to a secure order form where you can review everything before submitting your order. I hope to see you on the inside. So thanks for being here. I hope you learned some things about promotion, and I'll open it up for some Q&A. Okay, let's see. David Kess asked, just saying, Steve mentored me and I got promoted. I got a very significant pay raise, and without this, I would not have promoted. I would not have been promoted. Thank you, David. Long time no see. All right, let's see if there's actually questions here. Oh, okay. There's a thread with live questions. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's take a look. Zubair Khan asks, would you be able to help someone who's the equivalent of a principal at Amazon get promoted to senior principal? I think that my content would help somebody get to senior principal. I'm not a senior principal, so it's untested. I think I was on track to getting to senior principal. So the jury's out. Love to have a conversation with you to see if that works. Junk Food John asks, does the algorithm involve neuro-linguistic programming or something about crystals and astrology? No, I'm not an NLP guy. We're not trying to manipulate people to get a promotion. What we're trying to do is we're trying to have critical conversations in a way that will progress your promotion forward, right? So there's no manipulation. There's no negging people to try to get a response. This is just sort of straightforward stuff. Okay. Mr. K asks, how do you know if your manager is supportive? That is a really good question. I think that your manager is supportive if they sort of explicitly state that to you, right? Now, they don't need to necessarily say like, hey, I'm going to support you with all of my heart. I got you. But your manager is supportive when the words correspond with deeds, right? So if they're giving you projects that are going to help you out, if they are, finding scope for you, I think that, that's how you have a supportive manager, right? And so it's a combination of words and deeds. Okay. Rajastri Ravi asks, what do you do if you don't have junior members you can mentor on your team? That's a really good question. So if you need to get a mentorship data point, on how to mentor people, but there aren't any junior people on your team, then what I would recommend is to cast a wider net, right? So if you work in a larger organization, there are probably adjacent teams with junior members, right? But the reality is, if you're at a company that's been downsized a bit and there aren't a ton of junior engineers that are out there, you might have to start mentoring juniors outside of the company. But it's kind of like that thing for promotion. If there's no room to get promoted, how do I get promoted? If there are no junior members to mentor, how do I mentor? The answer is that you can't really. Okay, Mon Victor number 1 asks, also, what if coworkers are always giving positive feedback, not the critical feedback that is needed? That's a really good question, Mon Victor. What I would say is that when you are receiving feedback, you need to make sure that it's a safe space for the people that are providing feedback for you, right? And if you're only getting flowery feedback, what you can do is you can say, hey, I really appreciate this feedback on my performance, but what I'm really looking for are places where I can grow and places where, I want you to give me critical feedback. And so you can let them know that you're not going to get offended and that the critical feedback is the type of feedback that is really going to enable the growth that you'd like. But sometimes you just have to elucidate that. You have to really, really want to bring it in. Okay. Sterling Grog, about feedback. Could you do something anonymous like a Google form? Might provide more authentic responses. Yes, you can send a Google form out. A couple people from my previous cohort essentially sent out like a questionnaire or a template for feedback. What I would say is it's just like any other survey, right? So how many surveys do you fill out voluntarily on a monthly basis? Like, not a lot, right? So this person essentially sent out a bunch of emails and was basically like, hey, do you like me? They sent out a bunch of emails and were like, hey, here are all of the dimensions. Can you provide feedback if you have any data points? And he sent it to like 10 people. One person responded, right? The person that responded gave exceptional feedback to that person. The other 9 people essentially ignored the email, right? So it's going to be a much lower hit rate than if you like scheduled some one-on-one time and actually had a conversation about your assessment. Okay. Steve, can these tactics be used for remote workers? Absolutely. Richard from my previous cohort he works at a company that is completely remote. So the reality of the world today is that most people are going to be working in a remote or a hybrid situation. All of these things sort of work. I would say the one thing that, is nice about return to office is that you can potentially have an extemporaneous conversation, right? You might run into people. And so visually seeing somebody makes it a little less weird when you schedule some one-on-one time to ask for feedback. Right? So if you're walking by somebody, you see them at coffee, and you're like, hey, I haven't seen you for a long time. And then you go back to your computer and then send out like a little one-on-one email that's like, hey, I haven't seen you for a bit. Love to get some feedback. That's much more natural. You can't really do that in a remote setting. Okay. Claire So asks, would this advice be Amazon or manga oriented? It is and it isn't. Obviously, I've been working at Amazon for 18 years, and so it's kind of hard to... You can take the guy out of the Amazon, but you can't take the Amazon out of the guy, right? So I just know what's going on with Amazon. I do know that within my last cohort, we had people from Snap, Google, a lot of the big tech companies, but we also had people that were in smaller companies as well. And so the advice has proven to be very useful for them. What I would say, though, is, sometimes they had to sort of pull me back a little bit and just be like, hey, explain this Amazon jargon that you're doing. So I'm getting better at that. But I do think that the advice is generally good for all sorts of sizes of companies. Schism asks, is it one price point or are there multiple tiers? There's just the two packages. There's the premium and the standard pack. With the standard, you're going to get a lot of my time, right? You're going to get, you'll see my face multiple times in a week. With the premium package, we're going to be best buds on the internet, and you are going to get sick of me in a good way. All right. Luis Niera asked, does this work for small startups? Okay, so let's talk about promotions within small startups. I think generally it's a little easier to get a title change within a small startup. Some startups, they will let you just choose your title, right? So the promotion process might just be like, hey, Steve, can I be director of engineering? And it's like, of course you can. It's just us two, right? I think generally their processes are a little less bureaucratic. They're just much more straightforward. It might just involve working with your boss closely and then sort of getting a field promotion, right, in that sense. So I do think that it'll work. I think that generally it works best, my program, for startups that are relatively large, right, where there are team dynamics associated with it. So maybe a company where it's larger than just the one dev team. Okay, let's see. What if an engineer is already on a focus or development plan? Like I said before, if you are not performing to the expectations of your company, you should spend your work on trying to get out of that situation. The P, the last P in Performance Improvement Plan, or PIP, is about the plan, right? So the idea is that it's a process where they give you a plan to get out of the situation that you're in. So you don't need to create like a plan for promotion. Just follow the plan that your manager and the company is giving you, right? So good luck. I hope you get out of a PIP soon. Okay, let's see here. Come back with a warrant asks, gonna re-ask it here, but do you think this is only applicable to software roles? This is for places, this program is for companies that allow high-level tech ICs. Okay, so if you can become a principal software engineer in test and you're a senior software engineer in test, this plan is going to work for you. We have program and project managers inside the program as well. So a lot of this stuff isn't necessarily tech focused, right? And it'll work for anybody and any company in any situation where you can become a high-level tech IC. We have applied scientists, and so I think he's also actually really close to promotion. So I'm hoping that we'll have some success stories there. But anywhere in tech where you can become a high-level tech IC. Okay. Timothy asks, how long does the last cohort last? So the last cohort was mainly November and December of last year. But because you get year-long access with the standard plan and essentially lifelong access, we've been meeting this month as well, right? So how long is the last cohort last? The last cohort is still going on. Faraz Khan asked, does an Amazon principal engineer equal a Google principal engineer? No, it doesn't. If you go to levels.fyi, a senior dev at Amazon sort of straddles a staff engineer at Google, right? A principal engineer sort of straddles staff and senior staff at Google. And then a principal engineer at Google is more like a distinguished engineer at Amazon. But everything's relative. And so I really just use levels.fyi to figure out what the relative levels are. Okay, so if you're wondering whether your company is, this is going to work for your company, and when I say like senior engineer and staff engineer and principal engineer, just go to levels.fyi and map your company's levels to Amazon or Google or Meta. Okay. How applicable do you see this class outside of engineering jobs, for example, machine learning, data science, and products? And is this applicable to engineering adjacent roles, so lead tech writer in an engineering org? That's undetermined. I know for a fact that it works with tech roles, right? I've been told that a lot of the concepts that I've been teaching within the course And you were in the presentation today. What do you think that advice is sort of good for technical writers? I think so. I think some parts of it are sort of software specific or tech specific. What I would say is, if you want to reach out to my team, we can have a conversation about whether it would work for sort of adjacent folks. But I think the rule of thumb is if you can become a really high-level IC within that job family and you generally work for a tech company, I think that it'll work. Okay. Battery Bar asks, how long does the program last for? So you get the program for a year. The lectures are for 5 weeks, right? And then the accelerator and all of the other all of the other bonuses within the program, you get for a year. But the live lectures, the live streams, those will be for 5 weeks, right? But I know that promotion has really long timelines. So it could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 2 years before you're promoted. And so that's why I've structured the entire program so that you at least have a year with the community. So Devin Wells asks, how do you tackle situations where the pre-established criteria for getting promoted to principal are all targeted at product teams as opposed to a platform teams? Any different approach? Devin, I'm glad you asked that question, because I think that when it comes to promotion, and this is why I've created the program in such a way that I give my time to the people there, I think that everybody's situation is slightly different, right? If you could just go to a website that gave you a quiz about why you weren't getting promoted, and it just spat back a bunch of answers, and then you went and you took those answers and you did everything it said and you got promoted. If that was the situation for how to get promoted, then you wouldn't need me. You wouldn't need this program or this course. I think the big thing about this course is that I'm trying to tailor the things that you do to your specific situation. And I haven't found a way to do that automatically, right? AI is not going to help in coming up with an effective promotion plan, at least not yet, right? So your question about whether product teams as opposed to platform teams, whether you need to do something different, yes, I do. I think that you generally need to do some different things. Platform teams serve many clients, right? They're a bunch of upstream and downstream consumers of the data that you're vending, right? As opposed to a product team where they just care about, like delivering some sort of deliverable to customers, right? They're trying to do a sort of like cross-slicing thing. And so I do think that generally, if you are a part of a platform team, the way to do it, there's a way to operate such that you're visibly trying to delight your customers, right? And I think it's a really long conversation and a perfect question for the office hours that I have if you end up joining. But I do think that there are a number of techniques that are slightly different. I wouldn't diverge too much from the product roadmap, the product criteria. But I do think that it's definitely possible to get promoted just as easily as a product-based principal engineer. Okay. Alexander asks, what should you do if you're on a project that isn't the main moneymaker at a tech company that's very conscious for looking for more revenue? Is this a good place? So here's the reality of the situation. Everybody is in a contraction cycle, right? And so, it's really easy when all of the companies are in a growth cycle. When everybody's in a growth cycle, everybody knows where the scope is going to come from. The scope is going to come from that growth. What are the net new things that we're going to build, right? In a contraction cycle, there is still movement within the organization, but the vector is pointing inwards, right? There's going to be much more efficiency focus. There's going to be much more cost-cutting focus. And so I do think that you can position yourself in such a way to sort of anticipate where your organization is going, even if you're contracting, because I believe that organizations are dynamic and not static. And the thing that you should do is try to skate to where the puck is, not try to chase the puck. If you notice that your company is very cost focused, very operational focused, and you want to get more scope to get to the next level, what you should do is you should think about how best that you can position yourself such that you are the person that's manifesting, that's affecting the change so that, you know, cost cutting can occur, right? So think about what your company needs. Think about positioning yourself in a way that, you know, you can actually service that need in a very visible way, and then just do that. I don't think that you need to have a high growth company in order to get promoted. Okay, Reed White asks, how do you get around the fact that it's L7s in a room doing stack ranking when deciding promotion? How can you get away with working less and just being targeted without flaunting your work? Reed, here's the thing. At my company, even though we just got over layoffs, in terms of ratios, we can have so many more L7s. We can actually have double the amount of L7s that we currently have. And so nobody in these promotion packets, at least at my company, is stack ranking, right? They're not saying, oh, hey, here's all the people that want to get promoted, and we're gonna only take the people at the very end, and then those people get promoted. That's not how it works. Every promotion packet comes in, and we look at it and we say, okay, does this person meet the criteria for the next level? If they do, then they get promoted. If they don't, then they don't get promoted, right? So you might have heard about bar raising at Amazon. The idea is that you know, with every hire, you're trying to like raise the bar, and so the entire company gets better every time there's a hire. It is not like hiring. There is no median bar that we're looking at to promote people or not promote people. When every promotion comes in, we look at that in that application on its own. And so the second part of your question is like, how do you get promoted without flaunting it? You have to be visible. And whether you call it flaunting or not, if a tree falls in a forest, you know, and nobody is around to hear it, did it actually happen? If you do a bunch of good work and nobody hears it, are you going to get promoted? No, you're not going to get promoted. So you have to do visible work, right? So you kind of asked two different questions there. Okay. Alex's Jonestown Massacre asks, I have a question. Will this help getting promoted at a new job? It's kind of hard to get feedback from peers if you just started. It will help, it's just not going to help immediately, right? So here's the thing. When you start at a new job, if you think that you've been down-leveled, then I think for sure that this program will help. If there's an incongruity between the levels at your previous job and, you know, the type of culture and work at your new job, then this program is going to help, right? So you might have been hired as a senior engineer, and you're now working at a new company, and, you know, there's senior engineers around you, there's staff engineers, there's regular engineers, and you may realize that your senior engineer actually maps to a staff engineer at this new place, right? It's just that, you know, senior engineer and senior engineer didn't quite match up when the offer was made. If that's the case, if there's a really large incongruity between your actual level and the next level, and you just started, then the program's going to help. If you think that you just got, if you think that the level is correct, I'm a senior engineer, you know, the senior engineer at this company sort of maps to my experience, I'm in the right spot, then, you know, I might wait a little bit, or you can get the program and see what you need to do in the upcoming months. Okay. Are these offers only offered at this time? When will be the next offer? So this offer is going to end on Sunday. The next cohort, you know, I'm going to just get past this launch. The next cohort I'm planning is going to be in a couple of months, but I don't know for a fact that it's going to have this form, you know, or whether it'll be in a different form. So if you like what you see here today, I would recommend signing up before all of the spots are taken, because you would at least have a year or lifetime access to the community. But generally, I think the next one is going to be in like April, maybe. I don't know. Okay. Are the cohorts in sync with Amazon promotion cycles? No, they are. Well, Amazon promotion cycles are either in a quarter or in half years, right? So it's 3 months or 6 months. And so, this program is generally in sync with on a quarter basis. My first cohort was at the end of the year, and I realized that I probably, I sort of did it in the middle of the quarter. I probably should have pulled it back a little bit earlier. And, because people's promotion cycles at companies typically are for the end of the year, right? So this particular one is starting, in January, which is a little bit faster than the last one. But just because this program is sort of based on quarterly stuff, it is in sync with the Amazon stuff. What I'll say is that most companies are quarterly, half-year, or year-long cycles, and a couple of oddball companies that do sort of like on-demand promotions, right? Okay. I know you're a fan of Cal Newport's deep work. Do you apply these principles in your course? Absolutely. I love Cal Newport. I've read all of his books. I took both of his classes, right? I really think, I have an unlimited educational budget. And so everything that Cal produces, I consume. A lot of his concepts make their way into my course. Andrea asks, do you need to reveal your identity and context to other members of the cohort? That's not strictly necessary. I do believe that, it should not be a secret that you want to get promoted. You should not ever feel ashamed of the things that you want in life. And so it's not a black mark on your record if it shows that, hey, you work at Google and you are trying to get promoted at Google within the community. The community is really intimate, right? So there's only dozens of people in there. So it's very unlikely that things are going to leak out, but obviously you shouldn't share anything that is not, that's confidential within the program. But if you want to be anonymous, you can be anonymous and just use your first name if you'd like. Timothy asked, does this course apply to more than just junior engineers? Yeah, it, I think that it can help anybody all the way up to L7 at Amazon. So if you go to levels.fyi and you pull up, Amazon L7, and then you put your company up next to it, if your level is at or below that L7, then this program is for you, right? Now, maybe there's something that I didn't emphasize within the presentation, which is the advice that I give is applicable, a lot of it is applicable to junior, mid, and senior level engineers. There's a lot of advice for senior staff, and principal that you just can't find anywhere else. And so for those folks, I would recommend the premium program. But the product is for anybody that wants to get promoted that is at L7 Amazon Principal and below. Okay. Let's do a couple more and then we'll be done here. So, does this work for people kind of stuck in a level? Timothy asks. Yes, this program is made for people that feel like they're stuck in level. So here's the thing. If you feel stuck, the best way to get unstuck is to describe why you are there. And the more level of detail that you can give about why you're stuck, the more likely you're going to get unstuck. Okay, so if you're stuck at level right now, this promotion algorithm and my program is going to teach you how to figure out why you are there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come up with an actionable plan to get you out of that rut and move you on to the next level. So you literally described my target audience. It's people that feel like they're already operating at the next level, but feel like they're stuck. I'm currently in a stretch, and I'm already clear on the expectations and criteria to achieve the next level at the end of Q2. Congratulations, Vivek. Does that make sense to wait to join a later cohort after I achieve the next level? So what I would say, Vivek, is that unless the promotion is guaranteed to happen in Q2, and you're interested in the program, then I would recommend joining the program. So what we'll do is we'll make sure that everything is ready to go for your Q2 promotion. Now, if your Q2 promotion is in the bag and there's no uncertainty about that, then what I would say is that, you could probably hold off and wait. I do think that generally, the moment after you get promoted is the perfect time to start thinking about your next promotion. So if you want to get a jump start on everything, then I don't see a reason why you wouldn't join now. Okay. Kartikeyan asks, is it possible to upgrade later if we take the basic now? Yes, you can upgrade later and from the standard to the premium. I haven't done any of the pricing there yet, but I'll make sure that there's a path. And likely, I won't see that until people start to fall off at the end of the year. But what I would say is that the premium is, we've done like surveys for the people in the cohort. People love the premium. People love the stand-up that we do every week to talk about your promotion process, right? It's an hour-long meeting. I get to know you. Sometimes it turns into a therapy session. Sometimes it turns into a, hey, Steve, I have this very pressing thing. And, we don't need to explain context, right? They can just give me the problem and I know exactly where they're at. And I can give really targeted and actionable advice. So if you're waffling, then, I would say push you towards the premium. But either way, if you just get the standard, you'll still be, very close with me, and you'll have at least a year within the community. All right. Let's do 2 more questions, and then I will go. Butte Community Theater presents Shrek the Musical asks, can you explain the 100% money back guarantee? Yeah, it's really simple. From 30 days from when you purchase the program, if you want a refund for any reason, I will give it to you. So that's the refund policy. Now, again, if you purchase the program, you are taking a spot from somebody else. So I just ask that you respect that. But the 30-day money-back guarantee is exactly that. It's a no questions asked 30-day money-back guarantee. Okay. To get promoted, Ghost the Savage asks, to get promoted, should be highly protective about your work. If so, how do you protect your work while still being collaborative? This can be tricky in situations when work areas overlap with others. Yeah, it is a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. And here's what I would say. In today's environment, there's not a lot of scope to go around. And so it's going to be very likely that if there are a bunch of ambitious individuals within an organization, they're going to want to protect their scope because they see scope as this zero-sum game, right? What I would say as a counter to that is that it doesn't look very good if you are trying to body people off of your work and your scope, right? You need to come off, right? The perception needs to be, and this can also be the reality, the perception needs to be that you're doing the best thing for the company. And so in a contextless piece of advice, right, if I knew a little bit more about your situation, I can give you some more advice. But what I would say is, can you transform the scope that you currently have to make room for other people to contribute? And if you can get into a situation where 1 + 1 = 3, and you are able to deliver more things without sort of keeping other people away from your boundaries, then I think that comes off as really good, right? So I would challenge you to see if you can maybe relax the borders of the scope that's there, not be so protective, and sort of see if there's a synergy, right? If you can contribute with somebody else and make that delivery that much better, I think that reflects well for most people. And you can turn it away from a zero-sum game, right? Okay. And let us do one final question. Fubar asks, How do you deal with a supportive manager that believes that you should be promoted, however, a principal engineer is against it? So they're currently a senior engineer. So what I would say is that this is a perfect example of somebody that I can help. Generally, what you want to do is you want to understand exactly why the principal engineer is against your promotion. And what I would say is you can ask your manager, or you can actually talk to this person straight up, and you can sit them down and you can say, hey, Steve, as you know, you can use the presumptive close. As you know, I'm trying to get to principal. You know this. And I think that I'm there. I would really love feedback from you about what gaps you think that I currently have, right? And you want to make sure that it's a safe space, and you want to make sure that you're actually receiving critical feedback. But if you communicate to people that you have a growth mindset, you're willing to change, and you're also willing to listen, not just hear, but really willing to listen the critical feedback that's coming in, I almost guarantee you that that person is going to tell you exactly why they think that you're not there. And what I would do is I would think about that in terms of being a gift, right? They're giving you the gift of what you need to work on so you can create a roadmap to get promoted. It's going to be really hard, though, because critical feedback oftentimes sounds like an attack, right? Here's a deficiency in your personality and your work and your skill set. But if you can somehow shut that off and just really understand, like truly understand why this person doesn't think that you're ready to go to the next level, and that person is a gatekeeper to your promotion, take that feedback and then turn it into an actionable plan. And I think that you'll be able to sort of unstick yourself. Now, if you do everything they say and you still can't get promoted because this person just doesn't like you, it might be time to go somewhere else, right? Because what you don't want to do is you don't want your success in career and life to depend on somebody else changing, right? And so if they're really stubborn and they're not going to change, it's time to move on. But hopefully it doesn't get to that point. Okay. Thank you so much. That's all the time that I had for you guys today. I really hope that you learned something from the masterclass and from the Q&A session at the end. And, I would really love to work with you personally. And so if you are one of these people that can afford it, and I can help you, you're my target audience, I really, really would love to work with you. So thank you so much.